Welcome to the Short Funk Podcast. I'm Tom Barbalet. Today a little bit more about the garden. The garden's getting to a very interesting state. I'm sticking with my pots, I'm sticking with my watering methods, I'm using the greenhouse for certain effects, and I'm touching on a variety of parameters, the size of the pots, the amount of sunlight each plant sees, and also using the greenhouse not necessarily as a darkening agent, but a kind of improved growing agent, which also seems to send the plants into a sense that winter might be coming. It's all very curious, manipulating a variety of plants in a variety of different ways. The plants were all germinated at roughly the same time, really within 5 days of each other. And some plants, based on the soil, based on the nutrients, based on the volume of the pots, behave completely differently. And I have about 10 of each to get some kind of uniformity of my general pattern. The plants, the tomatoes in particular, that were raised in the greenhouse now are at a budding stage. They're ready to produce tomatoes. They're not particularly big, but they will produce a nice crop of tomatoes. And I've moved them out of the greenhouse so they can get the benefit of full sunlight and actually allow the buds to mature and obviously the fruit to flow accordingly. In addition to this, I have a number of tomatoes that are still in, I don't know actually how big they are. They're probably 6-inch by 8-inch pots, not particularly big, but still able to sustain a tomato to a certain size. These tomatoes are kept in an immature state, basically, by their surroundings, and also I have a shelf unit that I'm putting them in as well, which reduces the amount of light that they receive. In addition to this, I've done an experiment where plants were maintained for a week under an alcove with some water, just to see what would happen, and basically they lost a week's worth of growth through this process. I don't think it's a particularly healthy way to raise plants, but it was an experiment to see how long the plants would last given us being away. But through these circumstances, I've realized I can probably cultivate a garden that will give us fruit for a majority of the summer months. And really this is the purpose for the entire experiment. We will have zucchinis probably in about 4 to 6 weeks' time. We will have tomatoes probably in about 4 weeks' time. And all these things are being guided by basic experiments associated with volume of soil, fertilizer, light levels, to see if I can create this rollout garden, for want of a better term. A garden that provides fruits and vegetables. I refer to tomatoes as fruits. I'm a bit of a purist in that regard. But anyway, that provides fruits and vegetables for a 3-month period at staggered intervals. The other thing that I'm interested in doing is reusing the soil in the pots through these periods and testing out, various natural fertilizers and other means that I can work through how to maintain the garden over the longest possible time. I don't think this is going to be a book project, but it is something where if I can do this for a couple of years, I think I'll have enough knowledge to pen some of this down and present it to other like-minded crazy gardeners, with the view that this is a very interesting way to provide sustaining food for a period of time. I think there's not a lot of knowledge. I mean, obviously there were victory gardens and things like that in the Second World War, but a lot of the survivalist methodology is very poor with regards to gardening. And if I can create a contribution where people can grow plants, gain fruits and vegetables for 3 months consistently, then I think I can show people that there are more interesting ways of gardening. What I found particularly curious through this is historically when I've grown tomatoes, I've grown them in the traditional method, and I've gotten a bunch of tomatoes at the end of the season. But I think by staggering tomatoes in particular, by getting a variety of different fruits from fundamentally the same genetics, it would be possible to work out when the best time was to do canning, and when the best time was to do just basic consumption and these kind of things. And I'm actually really interested, particularly in terms of the soil mixes that I've experimented with, to see how the fruit flavor and general usability will change. Anyway, I will keep reporting back with some kind of frequency through these short funk recordings. I just wanted to throw the topic out there. Tom Barbalet in San Jose, signing out.